G'day, Aussie Gridiron fans. It's week one reactions show. Week one's been done and dusted in the books. We're here to do some reactions and Thursday night preview. So let's get going. G'day, boys. How are we going today, Brad and Isaac? Yeah, week one in the books, done and dusted, finally.
Mate, it's I'm still bleary-eyed from getting up at 3:30 to watch football and going to bed late after that exciting Sunday night game, but it's worth it. We're back, man. Football, it's here, so it's awesome.
Isaac, you're used to these hours, though. You're used to these hours.
I am used to these hours, but how good is it to have football back on the screens? I was watching Red Zone, just boom, boom, boom. It was everywhere. And now, on a Tuesday, I get to have a minute silence for those 49ers fans out there because their whole team's just injured. Fantastic.
Jeez. So low. That's so mean. One weekend, he's already taking pot shots.
Shout out, man, John Nick.
It's only funny Nick was here to receive it. That's all. Yeah, mate, I was sick as a dog once again. So, I didn't watch more than 10 minutes of football until Sunday night football was on. So, but then, of course, I sat down for the entire day today. I definitely had paperwork to do at my desk. So I got to watch, the entirety of the Vikings game, which went just as I expected, except for probably about the last 5 minutes where we actually won. So got there. So tonight we're going to do some week one reactions. And we're going to go through a few overreactions from a few people that hit Isaac up on Instagram through the week. And then we're going to do a Thursday night football preview of the Commanders and Packers. We have a guest in-house, though, tonight. I threw up a post in the NFL Fans Down Under page just to see if we can get some fans, some people in-house just to talk about their team when they're on Thursday Night Football and to do some reactions with us. This guy was one of the first ones to hit me up, and lucky him, his team is up this week. So, g'day, Damien. How you going?
G'day, guys. G'day, Ian, Big Daddy, and Isaac. Damien from Murray Bridge, and a Commanders fan from way back.
Oh, excellent. So, yes, Damien's hit us up, and unfortunately, Washington's up this week on Thursday Night Football. Oh, probably fortunately, to be honest. Probably unfortunate. Yeah, unfortunately, you've got to go to Green Bay for Thursday Night Football. But
yeah, really don't like that idea. But someone's got to play the first Thursday night game of the year.
Yeah, that's right, mate.
It's good to be us, so good to be on the spotlight.
That's right. So, Damien hit me up, and we're going to bring on a whole bunch of people this year. So, if you want to be on the pod and want to talk about your team, hit me up on the socials, which, of course, you will find Linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. You'll find all of our socials there, along with all the boys from Fantasy as well. Damien, a few questions to start with, I guess. A couple of get-to-know-you things. How long have you been an NFL fan?
I've been an NFL fan for 33 years, 34 years, since I was 8 years old. I'm now 42.
How were you watching football back then?
I was watching the John Lane ABC show Touchdown.
Nice.
When the lanky yank from America that was bringing it down to us Aussies on the ABC.
Yeah, there wasn't much going on that to be honest, at that time. ABC was about it. ABC and SBS were a hive of sort of international sport.
Yeah, they were back then. And even though I followed it back then, it wasn't until recent years that when I Googled it, I realised that wasn't live games I was watching back then.
No, they would all be replays for sure.
I love it.
So here we're going, yes, I want them to win. Well, they've known the result for 3 weeks.
Nice.
Oh boy.
I love it.
Well, I guess so. We know you're a Washington fan then, and it would have been Redskins back then, obviously, because of that the name change and a change away from horrible ownership over the years.
Yep.
Still got a shitty stadium. They haven't changed that thing yet.
No, they are working on it with the new owners of breaking ground on the new RFK site.
Yeah. So, how did you land on Washington as your team?
The people that introduced me to Gridiron, we had my dad worked for a company, and they had an American liaison come over to Australia back in the 90s, and they're from West Virginia, and obviously being that close to Washington DC, Redskins was their team. Introduced us. Their son played in the local league here in SA, and just followed them from day dot when I first started at 8 years old.
It's really hard to follow some of these teams straight up, though, isn't it? When all of a sudden, like these you start following these teams, and they just, I don't know, they sit middle of the pack, never win anything, and you're like, what do I have to cheer for?
Middle of the pack? You mean the bottom of the pack?
I want to be nice, mate. I mean, I'm a Vikings fan, so we've never won anything either. So,
Well, there has to be two sides of the coin, with the winners and the losers.
There is. Isaac's team just buys Super Bowls.
Hey, at least we win them.
Brad's on the other hand hasn't been past the first round of the playoffs in 30 years. So.
No, by week one every year they've won it.
By week one, you mean before kickoff?
Yeah, this is our year. This is our year.
Correct. No, so Isaac, true. We're still, I've been saying it every week, we've still got to find Brad a gap year team. There's no Cowboys this year. It's a gap year team.
Yeah.
So I do need to put that social out, actually. I need to get Brad's gap year and get some suggestions from people on who Brad should follow this season.
I've had
the Commanders changing teams. I think you should go for an Aaron Rodgers team. I think you should follow Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
down in Pittsburgh.
You say that. I don't know if you say that in jest or not, but actually, I was watching that game and I was like, if I didn't have such a hatred for Pittsburgh, just growing up, I love Arthur Smith, his offense. I love just the way they play. I love Mike Tomlin, and I was just thinking, man, but Aaron Rodgers is a dick. You know?
This is going to be the hardest part about finding you a gap year team, Brad, is as an American, you've got some hatred of actual teams and franchises from growing up.
Well, growing up, I used to not like the Commanders because they were kind of the arch nemesis of the Cowboys, and it was always back and forth between those two. But so yeah. But as time goes on, you just kind of forget some of that hatred. But something about Pittsburgh, I think it's because that's my brother's favorite team. I've just always carried that hatred pretty close. So I can't wave that terrible towel. I don't know what it is.
Did your brother listen to the pod, Brad?
Yeah, he does.
I know you've got some American friends that listen to the pod.
Yep. Yeah, no, he knows well and true how much I don't like Pittsburgh. So I shouldn't say Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh fans. It's the fans. They're just one step above Raider fans.
You just don't like Yinzers. That's what you're telling me.
This from a Cowboys fan. Wow.
Oh, bite your tongue. we are the class of the league. Okay,
Come on, every year's your year, mate.
Well, yes.
And then you get to week 5, and where's it going? Oh, let's go for the first round pick.
Yeah, well, by week 5 we're 2-3, maybe 3-2. So yeah, no, you're at least for the last 30 years, your point's taken.
Well, I know you want to go back to being a Seahawks fan.
Well, yeah. No.
No. I think we need to find you an AFC team, Brad. That might be what needs to happen. See?
Yeah. I was playing around thinking about Carolina because I watched them.
Why would you want to do that?
I know. Well, that's what I said to myself halfway through the first half. I was like, why am I watching this game? I watched every snap of it, and I was just like, they looked awful.
Wasn't this 2 years ago? Didn't we go through this 2 years ago when you watched every Cardinals one? Or every Falcon
No,
snap?
it was
Every
Falcons.
Falcon snap. Yeah.
Falcons. Yeah, I think I watched
Jeez.
pretty much every snap that season. So, yeah, lots of teams in the runnings. My problem is I think I have a reason to not like every other team in the NFL, so I got to
That's
get
because
rid
you're
of
a
it.
Cowboys fan, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get to some reactions from week one. A huge week. They're full of just week one is a weird beast, to be honest. Week one lies, I know that for sure. There's things that happen in week 1 and 2 that don't happen for the rest of the season. For instance, last year we saw the Saints absolutely trounce teams in week 1 and 2, and then they were absolute basket case from that point onwards.
Yeah.
So things that happen this week aren't necessarily going to happen in the following weeks. But what a week. And I'll tell you what, let's start with the real obvious pick of week 1. And it's Ravens and Bills in week 1 thriller. The Ravens had the Bills firmly on the ropes, but never count out the Buffalo Superman, Josh Allen. Almost 1,000 yards on offense, boys, where Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, they're obvious names, aren't they? Zay Flowers, Keon Coleman, all featured heavily. And how about Isaac DeAndre Hopkins showed that he hasn't lost his touch with a spectacular one-handed catch.
That catch was absolutely amazing. I almost turned this game off with the fourth quarter to go. I was like, well, this is a done deal. I can go get some stuff done. Got to go pick the kids up from school. And I was just like, and then I turned it back on and it was like the Bills were celebrating. I was like, what is going on here? What happened? But having a look at that game, the Ravens dominated. But it now makes me think that Keon Coleman is the out-and-out wide receiver 1 in Buffalo. You can take away Khalil Shakir. I don't think he's going to feature. He'll be a wide receiver 2, but I think your main man there is going to be Keon Coleman, and he's going to take that step.
It just goes to show that you can't count Buffalo out ever.
Yeah. No, I think you're exactly right. And it was, I don't know if you guys caught that interview with Josh Allen afterwards. About the fans leaving, because apparently there was a lot of fans.
They were leaving. They were leaving in the third quarter, Brad. There was pictures of fans leaving in the third quarter. Thousands of them.
Jeez. I just don't get that. Like,
they were down 22 or something
that,
at one stage, weren't they?
I don't know, but you spend all that time and money to go to the game, and then you just kind of get pissed off and say, "Screw it, we're leaving." That's a different mindset, but
yeah, different mindset for sure.
But the game itself, you're right, it was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it totally was. 22 points to 6 in the fourth quarter. Buffalo scored.
Wow.
It was just big plays after big plays. Like you watch, there's one of Lamar scrambling, and it was going to be a loss of about 20, and he ended up getting a gain of 20.
14.
And just like
14. No. He ran 19 yards backwards to gain 14 yards.
I know.
Well, I heard the interesting stat that he actually, on that play, he actually ran 75 total yards to get that.
He must have. And I mean, that goes to show the protection he was getting from his offensive line to do that. But someone's got to get open. Like Zay Flowers was really good in this game. But my thing too is, we mentioned it before when Baltimore got Jair Alexander, that they were going to be one of the top defenses in the league. And week 1, they let in 41 points. Like, what is going on that defense?
Yeah, that's crazy. Because we were talking about it, obviously, Yeah, just quickly, before we wrap up on that one, the turning point that I thought, I was trying to find the point. Obviously, you can look at the fourth quarter, big turning points. But I think the turning point was actually right before halftime. Up until that, in the second quarter, I'm just having a look at the plays. The second quarter, the Ravens went touchdown Ravens, punt Buffalo, so they got to stop. They forced it to punt. Touchdown Ravens, then a field goal for Buffalo, and then a field goal for Ravens, and it was 20-10. After that, after going 3 and out multiple times, the Bills went down the field and ended up with a field goal right at the end of halftime to bring it back to 20-13. So to bring it within a score. And that was kind of like a turning point. After halftime, they then stopped the Ravens. Well, they got a touchdown straight after halftime, but then stopped them three consecutive drives. And in that time, scored a touchdown and got points on the board themselves. And then, of course, fourth quarter just went absolutely mental. And then, the biggest turning point was, of course, Henry, who had a absolute shit ton of yards, 169 he put on him on the ground. Derrick Henry did. And then had that fumble, that horrible, horrible fumble. And,
cost him the game.
Yeah. I didn't understand what they were doing towards the end of the game there, to be honest. They gave him the ball back with like a minute 50, and it was crazy. They were going for it. And it's like, what are you going for it for? Why are you not bleeding this clock out? They had timeouts, they had everything. And instead of bleeding the clock out and just going and just taking the win, they went for it, lost it, and then give the ball back. It was just nuts. So
you hear of a lot of that though, where you look at where you see the teams go, well, you've got a minute 20 left. Why not just bleed it out, take the knee, loss of downs, and run it out like that? But something in their mind goes, oh, well, we've scored so easily so far in the game. Let's go for one more. And it all momentum shifts.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you're 100%. Exactly right in terms of the momentum. It's such a game of momentum. And they clearly didn't have the momentum. They'd lost it, Baltimore. And I felt like, Harbaugh just did not call a good game, to be honest with you. So I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Buffalo. Buffalo won it, but I felt like Harbaugh did them favors, in my opinion.
It was there for the Ravens to lose.
Yeah.
Especially
absolutely.
with how big they were up going in the fourth.
Yeah,
they were up massively. Like the Bills had to come back 22 to win. Like, it's just it's crazy. Anyway, they gave us an absolute stonker on Sunday Night Football, week 1.
And that's what you want.
That is what you want. That is total script writing for the NFL. All right. Rams and Texans slugged it out in a heavily defensive affair, but Isaac, CJ Stroud may want out of Houston if they can't figure out this O-line and how to protect him.
Yeah, that was one of the reactions that I got sent by Seahawk Sam. He said if they can't start protecting him, he may want to take it out. So, look, I watched the highlights of the game. There were a lot of big hits in this game. There was some that were really good. Stingley was great, and I'm pretty sure there was only one touchdown in the whole game. Is that, or was there two? The Kyron got one.
One touchdown.
One. Yeah. So.
Well, no, sorry. It's one passing, one rushing touchdown the entire game.
Okay. All right. So it's a low-scoring defensive game, which is good for our defense because it showed we can really stand up. And man, Jared Verse is just awesome. He is so good. So really happy with the performance from the guys.
How about that? The Texans defense matched them as well, I think, in ferocity. So the two defenses were just unbelievable.
They were really going at it.
I saw this game before I watched any of it. I saw this game described on X by somebody. I couldn't find it today. Put it up. I found it. They described it as a rock fight.
Yeah.
A rock fight.
A rock fight, which is
okay.
Right. I mean, Puka Nacua was bleeding at one stage from above the eye. It was massively physical.
But I thought, okay, you look at the Rams, the way they schemed open Puka Nacua, that's how the Texans should be thinking with Nico Collins. You've got this stud receiver. You got to figure a way to get this dude open. Be creative. But for him to finish with 3 catches, 25 yards, that's just not. It's not enough. So, to your guys' point earlier, that Texans offense, it's just not. It's not looking good. And I know it's week 1. We don't want to overreact, but
we do. That's the show. Ian.
It is the entire show. Well, that's what we had last year was overreactions, Brad. But
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Struggling to find the drop. Hang on, I'm struggling to find the drop. There it is.
Oh.
Overreacting. Overreacting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And Isaac, just before we leave this one, Nick Chubb, 60 yards. No TDs. My bet was for most TDs.
Oh.
Come on, Nick. That's all I wanted. Brad, Steelers and Jets gave us an early window shootout with Rodgers and Fields trading blows the whole way, but it was Aaron Rodgers who got the last laugh on Aaron Glenn and the Jets, scoring 17-6 in the fourth quarter to make sure they went home with the win in New York. Rodgers looked vintage with a commanding 22 or 30 for 244 and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we took my bet suggestion for this game was to take the under because that played out really well. Far out 34-32 because everybody was saying, okay, these guys are good defensive teams, first game of the season, offenses are going to start slow. No. And it was ridiculous. So, but it was a fun game to watch. It was a really, really fun game to watch. That was actually the first game that I watched. And it was the thing that impressed me. I don't know if you guys have seen any of it, but Breece Hall looked good. He looked like the Breece Hall of old before he got hurt. And the way they were using Fields, I was really impressed. And I think that's the way you got to do Fields, and you got to play him. So if the Jets can put up 32 against a good Pittsburgh defense, and look out, they might actually be legit. I don't think they're going to make any noise in the playoffs or sniff the playoffs probably, but I think they're going to be definitely improved. And that was a fun game to say the least.
That's the first hit out for offensive quarter Tanner Engstrand as well, who's a name that nobody would know yet. But I'm all for it. I'm with you, Brad. If that's the way the Jets are going to play on offense with Fields, I'm all for it. I'm all for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think the first 2 plays of the game were designed runs for Breece Hall, and which really showed how they're going to play this year. They're just going to ground and pound. They got Breece Hall and Allen, who's his backup, who's a really good backup running back. I brought up in the off-season there that I thought Fields would be really good for Breece Hall, just opening up the run game for him with the opportunity to use his legs as well as Breece Hall. So, I expected a stinker, not a very defensive game, but we got anything but a defensive game out of that one. So it was really exciting to watch. And one thing I really hated, one thing was watching Aaron Rodgers walk off the field with that smug look on his face, just like, I'm better than everyone else. You're just like, oh, you're not.
Oh, that's funny. If anybody can, I would encourage them to go back and watch the first drive of the Jets because I love the way Aaron Glenn's got them playing and watch Aaron Glenn on that first drive. That dude is the epitome of that whole Detroit mentality of just that kind of, we're going to smash mouth and we're going to have attitude and you might beat us, but we're going to make you pay for it. And it's just, I love the vibe that he's bringing to the Jets. So they're fun to watch.
And I think you got that 100%, man. Like, with Aaron Glenn running the New York Jets now, and with what he had in Detroit, he's brought that across. So yeah, that'll be fun to watch for the next few years.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Jets have actually hit on a good coach. Of course, I thought they had a decent coach with Robert Saleh, and they managed to screw that up too. So let's hope
that fell on.
Yeah,
let's see. Yeah, let's see how we go the next few weeks. But I'm almost at the point after week 1 where I'm almost ready to say that Aaron Glenn was the better of those 2 Lions coaches coming out of there.
Yeah, week 1 lies. Week 1 lies.
It does actually.
It's a long season.
Yes, that's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head, Damien.
It's a very long season. I can't remember who the Jets have got this week. Oh, Buffalo.
Seahawks. No, that's
They
the
got
Steelers
Buffalo.
are playing the Seahawks. Jets have
Buffalo.
the Bills.
They've got the
Jets
Bills.
have the Bills.
In New York
So.
again, but that's a home game for Buffalo too.
Yeah, right. That's gonna be that's gonna be a true test. That could be ugly. We'll see.
That may derail everything I've just said. Colts fans might be thinking Daniel Jones is actually part of the Manning family after leading Indianapolis to 30 unanswered points before the Dolphins even got close to scoring. Brad, the Colts scored on all 7 offensive drives. Do you want to take a guess in years, in a year? Give me a year when you think the last time that happened, that they scored on all 7 offensive drives.
On all 7 offensive drives.
Give me a year. Throw a year out there for me, Brad.
I would probably said, Peyton. So,
Go further,
whatever.
mate. 1972 was the last time that they scored on 7 offensive drives, all of them in one game. It is the first time that they've had a Week 1 win since 2013.
Wow.
This is unreal stats coming out of today.
That's crazy.
It is.
It is.
Isn't it? What the hell is the deal with Tyreek Hill, though? When the hell are the Dolphins going to trade him? Because I'll give you another stat. It is now 365 days since Tyreek Hill has had a reception of greater than 30 yards.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
So you're saying he's been arrested more than he's caught deep balls of over 30 yards?
He's had more
kids than he's caught deep balls.
So Ian, what you're trying to say is been balls deep before he's had deep balls.
Correct.
Oh, gosh.
Look, I think this game says more about the Dolphins than what it does about the Colts. Now, they looked horrendous. Tua looked hopeless. And they've had all off-season to put out a performance like that. I don't think it's going to be long before old Mike McDaniel has fire on his bottom.
Yeah. I would say you can't keep doing this for the next few weeks. Otherwise,
he could end up being the first one with that fire on his bottom.
Yeah,
it might be. I was just having a look when their when their bye week was, to be honest. But yeah, they've got a bye week in week 12, and I don't think he'd last that long. I don't think he's going to get to a bye week.
If they keep putting out performances like that, we could have
33
this totally
to 8
wrong, and they come out and score 60 points next week.
Yeah.
But at this present stage and the way they come out in week 1, it didn't look good.
33 to 8 is bad enough, but the Colts had literally scored 30 unanswered points before they even got one. And that was in the fourth quarter. And I think then it was like pity points. The Colts weren't trying after that, but Daniel Jones looked amazing. 22 of 29, 272. Anthony who? Who?
Well, and that wide receiving core is good. Like Pittman played really well. Josh Downs is a good deep threat. You got Alec Pierce and AJ, someone else out there, but
Adani Mitchell. Is that what you're trying to get?
Adani Mitchell, sorry, yep. So they've got, and Jonathan Taylor's there as well. So and TJ Warren looked really good as a rookie in his first game. So
how good was Tyler Warren?
They've got a decent offense.
So good.
Yeah, they've got a decent offense there.
And 76. He went 7 for 76 and ran a touchdown. Yeah.
Some would say, Ian, this is our Colts. This is our team. We bleed blue.
I'm sorry?
Isaac
Isaac
is obsessed with that Colts singing guy. To be honest.
Have you seen him, Brad?
No, I have not.
He's the best. We should send you some of the links. It's the best.
No, it's all right. That's all right. I'll let you keep that.
Yeah, Daniel Jones. I'll tell you what. If he hasn't, he's definitely locked down that job for the conceivable future. I don't know how Anthony.
Oh, there's no
Richardson-
way Richardson's getting it back unless it's injury. There's no way, which is not that far fetched of a chance, a thing with Daniel Jones. So that's entirely possible. But yeah, he's locked it up based on his performance.
Well, considering the next few weeks is the Broncos and then the Titans.
Oh,
Yeah, I just
Ooh, ouch.
I don't know how that happens. Now, while Danny Dimes was looking like an absolute superstar, the Commanders were making Russell Wilson look like vintage Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Commanders really upgraded in that Brian Robertson trade, Damien, with rookie running back Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt popping off in his first hit-out for the team.
Oh, he did phenomenally for our team. If he keeps playing like this, yeah, he's definitely got the running back number 1 position up with his name next to it. So, considering he was meant to be our number 4,
Wow.
and he pulled that out of the bag,
Yep.
like that's the best effort we've had for a running back for a while since 2012 with Morris.
Oh wow, yeah,
Was
Alfred
the
Morris.
last time we had, Alfred Morris.
Okay.
So Krosky-Merritt went 10 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Sensational numbers for a rookie running back in the first hit-out.
Jeez.
especially against a good line like the Giants have.
The Giants' defense was not bad. They were actually very good. It was a bit haphazard, but when I was watching the game back, the first quarter showed me how much, if they really get it together, how much that they can just be an absolute danger with 3 guys rushing the passer all at once. And they were all over the line too. They weren't just a passer. They were hitting up the running backs. They knew where they were going and then what they wanted to do. And they got 3 guys rushing through, and in some cases untouched. It's scary, and it can be scary if they get it together. There was some problems there where they couldn't really mesh too well. But yeah, once they get that together, going to be a force.
But I mean, did anybody? I don't know. Well, you tell me, Damien. Did you think anybody expected Deebo Samuel to look that good? Because he looked like Deebo of old.
I would say we thought he was going to be really good, which is why we went after him, but we didn't think he was going to be that good. But normally when you get players a few years into their career, they start slowing down, they start getting older, they start slowing down, not being as good. But Deebo Samuels was doing as good as what he did back in San Francisco days.
Yeah, 100%. So it was impressive, and I think too, just the way Daniels ran the ball as well. I thought he'd be a little bit more standing in the pocket, but I think he had over like 70 yards rushing, so which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, Jane Daniels is definitely not a pocket passer, that's for sure. We've got a very special QB that can throw, he can run, he can use his legs really well, and he's able to see the field like super, super fast. I was watching a podcast of his, and he says to the guys that were viewing him, going, he does a lot of VR work in the off season, and he has that sped up to like 5 times. So 5 times the speed these guys are coming at him with the VR helmet, so he can see what's coming.
That's cool. I had no idea. No, that makes sense.
So when he gets to the plays, it's all in slow-mo. For him, because his body's reacting 5 times as fast.
I love that. That's cool.
Yeah. You can see there's a clip going around where Abdul Carter just gets to him untouched and Jaden Daniels still gets the ball away. I'm not too sure if it was a completed pass, but he still gets the ball away, and Abdul Carter's no slouch. No. And getting there untouched, it just goes to show that he has been doing that work, like you're saying, Damien, in the off-season, that it all slows down for him, and he can get it away,
Yeah, and just seeing through last year, and hopefully it extends into this year, they're never out. Commanders are never out. As long as there's money in the clock, there's still game time to be had.
So how did Terry McLaurin play after getting his contract extension? Did he play all right?
Terry McLaurin did all right, but I think it was more Bill Merritt that we were more impressed with. Terry was sort of there as, Scary Terry's back on the field. He was more of the decoy.
Okay, yep.
But hopefully, in the next coming weeks, he'll show his promise and his poise.
Brad, I've got some questions for you, Brad.
Okay.
If I told you the team scored 327 total yards but kept their opposition to 141, would you say that they would win the game?
99% of the time, yes.
Would you, if I said that they had 13 first downs to 7 for their opposition, would you say they'd win the game?
Absolutely, yes.
If I said to you that they managed to keep their opposition to only 46 yards on the ground, would you say that they would win the game?
Absolutely.
Not the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, wow.
Who, despite absolutely dominating every score statistic in this game, still managed to lose to the Cincinnati Bengals by 1 point. Joe Burrow threw 14 of 23 in easily his worst performance on an NFL field, only 113 yards, did throw a TD, got sacked 3 times, murdered 3 times, by the way, because his offensive line is absolutely poo for this season somehow, after last season dominating everything. Yes, and they still managed to win. The most explosive offense in 2024 only went for 113 yards passing.
That's insane. I just all I watched was the highlights of this game, but just the fact that I looked at the stat line and for Chase, to not be involved, Jamar Chase, he only was targeted 5 times, only had 2 catches for 26 yards. That's just you can't do that. This is by far and away your best player, if not the best wide receiver in the league. And that is woeful. I knew it was lopsided, but I didn't know those stats.
Joe Flacco threw 45 passes.
Jeez.
290 yards.
Yeah.
It's absolutely slinging. And Ken's still slinging, by the way. Ken's still slinging.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know, mate. The penalties killed him. They got 20 more yards taken away in penalties than the Bengals, but I just don't understand how they lost.
Well, I know their kicker missed an extra point and a 36-yard field goal. So
yeah, it was a bit of tail of the kickers this week. There's some kickers that missed some horrendous stuff. Manjot was calling for Jake Moody's head early in the game for the 49ers. So it was all kinds of things going on. All right, a couple of quick overreactions from people out there. A few coaches that need to be fired. Mike McDaniel says Troy Piper. John Harbaugh says both Gabe and John O'Reilly in our fantasy group chat.
I'd like to get
Raiders
Brad's
to make the playoffs
on that one.
says Seahawks Sam.
Yeah.
I think we already talked about John Harbaugh anyway, but
Raiders
to make the playoffs. Gino to play under a dome 11 times this season.
Yeah, a bit like the Jared Goff one from last year that Manjot bought out, playing in the dome so much.
Yeah, and the Gino is just. I mean, that game was vintage Gino. I mean, dude throws for 300 yards, makes a couple amazing throws. Still throws a pick. Had a couple picks dropped that should have been picks. So it was such a Geno-esque game. But I loved it, man. It just but I didn't realize that stat about the 11 times in a dome. That's a big advantage for him.
Yeah, that's the one that Seahawks Sam reached out and told me those stats, and I was like, okay, fair enough. And he also did say about. It is dependent on how injured Brock Bowers is.
Yeah,
so
right.
He picked up a bit of an injury, so that could tweak his mindset there.
I think he's pretty much good to go, though. He wanted to come back in the fourth quarter. That dude's
Yeah,
a beast. He was just like, no, let me back in, and they wouldn't let him into place. So
Well, hopefully Myers can step up. I'd like to see him do something positive because he's had a little bit of a rough trot. Their other tight end, so we'll see. But I tell you what, they are fun to watch. I was a little disappointed in Genty. Ashton Genty didn't quite have the game that everybody was hoping. He got bottled up, but that New England line did a pretty decent job. Variable had him prepared for that.
yeah, certainly did. What else have we got there? We've talked about the other ones. CJ Stroud, talking about Bengals. Isaac wants Danny Dimes for MVP.
And one thing I just did remember, actually, Anthony Richardson did the same thing in the first game last year and then got dragged. So
He did. That's
Let's
why
see-
week one lies, mate. Week one lies.
let's see how that goes.
That's the title of this episode, to be honest. Week one lies. QBs in new places. Brad wanted to have a bit of a chat about, and I think we've talked about most, except for Sam Darnold, haven't we?
Yeah, Sam and Russell. I mean,
Oh, we talked about Russell because he's poo. But
well, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
didn't he look bad?
he looked bad. He did look bad.
He did. Russ looked bad. But the question, I think, people are saying, oh, you got to start Jackson Dart and all this and that. But I'm still of the mindset, no, don't start him personally because he's just going to get beat up.
The schedule. We talked about this earlier, and we talked about the division preview shows. The schedule is brutal, and there's no point in doing it.
Exactly.
Just one thing on
all
that,
you're
Brad.
doing is just what you miss is not worth it. Your risk versus reward, in my opinion, it is not worth it. So, yeah. And then Sam Darnold, he didn't look good. He had his team in a position to win it in the last 2 minutes still, but he did not play good at all. In fact, it was, in terms of, I think it was his QBR rating. He played, I think, Gino only had 2 other games in his entire career with Seattle that were worse than what Sam Darnold played in week 1. So it was not a good opening for him. But with all that said, they still had him in a place to win the game. And I think it's part of is that offense is it's going to take a little bit of time to get to gel. So I don't think everything's lost, and I think they will improve and he'll look better. Ask me that in a couple weeks, and we can reevaluate. But yeah, it was not a good opening for Darnold.
All right, we've gone way over on overreactions. So.
Stop overreacting.
Aussie.
It might be pretty obvious, but I am not Matty C.
NFL.
Absolutely stoked to have it on the podcast, mate. Welcome.
Fantasy.
Tay, I think it's time you just abused your mate here.
Would you rather be fighting zombies or aliens?
Find hidden gems.
And with that, we're into some breakouts.
I'm glad you're stalling because my results last week were a hot piece of ass.
We all had our struggles, mate.
You've unzipped the Penix and it's time to put the Penix in the pit. Let's do it.
I'm taking Trey McBride.
I'm just leaning on the old tuck shop, tuck graft.
And all of a sudden, he's just lighting them up.
Catch starts of the week.
I'm just going to go ahead and take Goff at Chicago.
So I'm going to go running back. I'm going to take Travis Etienne.
I'm going to go ahead and take your boy Ty Tracy.
I'm going to take Adam Thielen.
So I'm going to go and take Richo against Tennessee.
I'll take Matt Stafford.
Just to float out the Dalton Kincaid.
I'm actually going to take Caleb against the Lions.
Friday and Sunday all season long. The Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
Thanks to the Aussie Gridiron Network.
Good to give me the dance floor. I'll probably fucking snap the floorboards.
So let's get on to Thursday night football for week 2. Let's move forward. This is Friday in Australia, Thursday night in America. The Washington Commanders go to Green Bay to take on the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau in a very anticipated matchup for two huge NFC rivals. I love all these NFC, AFC games at the start of a season because this can really sort of shape out how a conference is going to look. Just like the Bills and Ravens last week, the Bills now have a tiebreaker over the Ravens if it comes down to same numbers at the end of the season. So can this one between the Commanders and the Packers. So let's go to Damien first. I guess that's why we brought you in here, mate, so you can talk about your Commanders. How do you think they're going to fare in Green Bay? It's not going to be so cold because it's not going to be the middle of winter like it would be. So it's better off at this end of the season. But
yeah, like you said, it's not going to be absolutely frigid in the frozen tundra in Green Bay, which is good for us. But I think what the Commanders need to do is they need to score every time they get the ball to at least stay in the game, because Green Bay, love history back there. With them being at home too, again, that can be a very loud stadium with all those cheeseheads in the crowd. So as long as we're there within the game, but then again, we've got Jaden Daniels, and as long as, like I said earlier in the podcast, as long as there's time on the clock, we're never out of it. So it's anyone's game. It should be a really good one.
Brad, after this week where we saw Micah Parsons have a good impact on defense, and not necessarily just himself because he was only there for about 30% of the snaps, but I think the overall impact he had around the rest of the defense in getting them open and free and able to operate, we can probably expect that Green Bay defense to be a lot stronger, or come out a lot stronger against the Commanders' offense.
Oh, yeah. Parsons played 29 snaps, and during those 29 snaps, they sacked Goff 3 times, and they only allowed 2.4 yards per play. So his impact was huge. It was. You go back and watch the film of that, and you can see it's unreal. He's going against Penei Sewell for a lot of his snaps. So the offensive left tackle for the Lions, who is top 3 offensive tackle in the league. So the dude's a stud. And you see Parsons gets the jump on him several times, and Sewell just has to kind of ride him out, but he still puts pressure on Goff, and it creates so much problems. And then they start double teaming him, and you see what he does. I don't want to get too in the weeds, but he is so fast coming off on the edge and getting on that outside move that what they started to do is doing a simple game where they just loop him back to the inside. And he creates so many gaps for all the other players. That's why you see things step up. It was just unreal, the impact he had. Go back and watch that game and just the snaps that Parsons plays.
Yeah, he created space and room for Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness, who just ate. And I think that's the biggest thing. And then there was his own sack on Goff, where he chased him like a lion chasing a gazelle. Like, he hunted that man down, and it was so quick. He came out of that pack so quick, Brad. I totally agree with you. It was
the difference between, I'm sure Damien would agree with me on this, but the difference, I think, though, is now he's going to be going up against Jaden Daniels, who's a little bit more mobile than Jared Goff. just a little bit.
Just a little.
Correct. Exactly. So that will be interesting, though. There might be an actual foot race there.
Yeah, it will be fun to watch.
That would be. I would love to see those two go in and have a foot race.
Isaac, offensive side. Jordan Love had a stellar game against the Lions. How do you see Love and this new young receiving core going against the Commanders' defense?
So I'm just looking at the stats here because I haven't had a chance to watch the highlights yet, but it still seems like they are going by wide receiver committee. They're not really targeting one, where everyone thought coming into the season, they've drafted Matthew Golden. He's going to be wide receiver 1. But he got 2 targets. Romeo Dobbs got 4. Jalen Reed got 5. Devon Wicks got 2.
Yeah.
Kraft got 4. So it's not really a standout wide receiver 1 there. So Jordan Love has plenty of targets to go to, which is really good. And 16 of 22 against Detroit, who is a really good defense. I think they're gonna be better, and I think it's gonna be spell danger for the Commanders.
Yeah, righto.
Mm.
All right. Some tips. Why don't we throw out some tips? Damien, you're obviously on Commander's side.
Obviously. Obviously. I would love to say that it will be a whitewash and we'll win it will be a shutout. I don't believe so. But I reckon it will be a real tight match. But I reckon Commanders by 7.
Cool. Brad?
All right. Okay. I think it's going to be close. To me, the line, what's we say that is the line 3.5? Is that what I did hear you say that?
3.5 to the Packers right now, Brad.
3.5 to the Packers. They just look so dominant to me in that game against Detroit. They made Detroit look pedestrian, and I know Detroit's had a lot of changes, but I'm gonna go with the Pack, even though they've got to give 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Packers as well. Sorry, Damien. But I think that defense is going to be too much. With the rookie running back that they've got there, I think they may try and target him a bit if he's in the game a fair amount. They will let Jaden Daniels cook because he's going to cook anyway, and then just try and take away the rest of his game. So, I'll say Green Bay by 10.
Oh, big!
Whoa!
Jesus. Oh, that's big.
Kahunas.
I'm going with the Commanders, to be honest.
All right.
I think once the Commanders get rolling, I think they're a bit more of an explosive offense. I think they'll learn a lot from last week as well, and I think they'll come up more. Each of the Commanders' last 4 road openers have gone over the total match points, Brad, which is set at 48.5. So we're likely to have an overs game, a big one.
No. Fun police out. Fun police. No, we're taking the under.
You better not.
How did that work out for you with
yeah,
the Steelers?
Right. Exactly. Shut up.
Brad, I know both of these guys don't really do some betting. Have you got any betting lines you sort of might look at for Thursday?
For this particular game?
Yeah.
Actually, I would, to be honest with you, I would take the over on this game. So I'm teasing, but my bet would be the over. And I would probably, I think it's going to be a close game. So if I'm doing like if I can choose a winning margin, I would do it under 6 points.
Yeah, right.
No, boy.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm looking at a couple of easy ones. It'll be Josh Jacobs rushing yards. Probably about 70 over. Seems like a good spot at the moment. But the other one is the other running back, Krosky Merritt, after such a great game, this last one. He's paying $3.60 for an anytime touchdown right now. And I think against the Packers, you can be run on against the Packers. So that even happened last week with the Lions. So it didn't really happen too much, but like Monty got out there for a few. But I'd go that, to be honest.
If I could, I'll just throw one more out there. We talked about how much Parsons opens the thing up for other players. I would take Van Ness for a sack if you can get that bet.
Yep.
Just a single sack, because I think he's going to create so much attention that Lucas Van Ness will probably be able to get a sack.
I would love it if someone would give me more defensive lines. But there are. All right, cool. Damien, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's been great having you on.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me. Would love to be back next week to make my statement next week when we win.
I love it, to brag about it. I love it.
Excellent. I like that attitude.
Yeah.
And if you want to come on, as I mentioned earlier, if anyone else wants to come on to the podcast, you want to talk about your team, you want to talk about some other teams, hit me up on our socials, which you'll find the links at linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. I'll probably be putting some bits and pieces in the NFL Fans Down Under group, just asking a few more as we go along. So please get in there and, just have a chat with me. Happy to have a chat with anyone. You can just give us your reactions even for shows like this as well. So you can do all that on all of our socials. Do that, and you find all the links to the podcast, to YouTube, which you'll be able to watch and listen along to all of this. Isaac and Brad, thanks again for tonight, boys. It's been fun. Again, week one reaction show. Isaac and I did just about all of them last season.
How good is it to talk football again? Like we've been talking about real life football. Like we've had week one. Yeah, boy.
It is the best. It's very, very
It
good.
takes a while to come along, but we love it.
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
Want to get there. So, all right. Thanks very much for listening, and we will catch you later on the week for week 2 preview show. See ya.